Hello, everybody. Another amazing day here at Messina, and we're going to be talking about a subject that is exciting. It's sparkling, actually. Today, we're going to be talking about sparkling wine, champagne, and the processes that go into making sparkling wine. The first one that I'd like to talk about is a process where you just carbonate the wine, and that is the very inexpensive wines that you see. The next process is called Charmant process, where you actually ferment the second time in a pressurized tank, and then the wine is bottled out of that pressured tank. Now, a couple of examples of that is this one, the Andre, which is called extra dry, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And then this is a Prosecco, which is the Italian sparkling wine that's very, very popular, and it's also an extra dry. Now, when you look for a sparkling wine, the driest is called natural. That means that when the final process occurs, there is no sweetener put into the bottle at all. Then you have brut, which is the next level, and then extra dry is actually where when they top it off, there's a bit of sweetness added to it. So the extra dry is actually sweeter than the brut. Now, in addition to that, we have our method champenois or method traditional, which is a spumante. Now that means that this wine actually fermented the second time in this bottle. And so it has a creamier characteristic. It is a much finer wine. So when you're looking for sparkling wine, if you look for method traditional, you will get a better product to consume. Now, today we're going to talk about what is the difference between a very expensive champagne and a Texas sparkling wine. Well, in 2005, the law changed to where it said that a producer outside of Champagne was not allowed to call their product champagne. Only sparkling wines produced in Champagne can be called champagne. So, ours is a sparkling wine made in the same traditional method that the Moët is. That they both fermented in the bottle the second time. Now, I'm going to be showing you a glass that was very characteristic of sparkling wine back in the 60s. You know, you'd see people pour this, and that was the champagne glass. Well, we'll leave this over here. It is not a good champagne glass. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pour the Moët, and notice the way I'm pouring it. You tip it, and you pour this way, because otherwise you dissipate all the bubbles. So here we go. You got those nice bubbles there. And now we're going to do the Messina. Same thing. Pour it on its side. And watch those lovely bubbles. Okay, so now when we look at the two, here's the Moët, and here's the Messina. They're both made exactly with the same process. And you can see the bubbles. You know, people talk about, well, are the bubbles bigger or smaller? Because that means that the wine is better. And that is not true. What you're looking for is the first base wine is re-fermented, and that's what gets all of these bubbles. So when you smell the Moët, it's very clean, it's very crisp. It is a great sparkling wine. I could see stars. I mean, it's just lovely. It's a lovely, lovely sparkling wine. And then when you look at the Messina, you smell, and in both wines you pick up kind of that yeasty characteristic because the yeast was actually in the bottle and then it was removed. So we smell. Fabulous. I think both of these wines are lovely. The price point, significantly different. And that's the exciting thing about Messina Hops Sparkling Brut and the Moet Sparkling Brut. So now the next, and take a look at this. This is the traditional glass. All the bubbles are gone. They're completely gone. And the reason why they're gone is the bowl is so big, all the bubbles release and it's gone. And that's the beauty of these glasses. The bubbles are maintained in the glass and they effervesce for a much longer period of time. So, much better. Don't use that glass. Now, there's other method traditional sparkling wines as well. One that's very popular is a cava. This is a Spanish sparkling wine. And since they're in the European community, they can't call it champagne, so they call it cava. Cava. A great bargain wine. They're made method champenois. Lovely wines. They're not made with the traditional French grapes. They're typically Spanish grapes. So the flavor profile is different with a cava than with the champagnes and like with ours, because we're using the French grapes. Now, the other form of sparkling wine that you see on the market a lot is a rosé, very, very popular. Now, this wine was made with Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir. Now, you say, well, how could you do that? Because Pinot Noir is a red grape. Well, you stem, you crush, you press, and you only allow the skin to stay with the juice for a very short period of time on the first fermentation. That's how you get this beautiful rose color. They're very, very nice, especially in our Texas summer. And then, this is an amazing product. This is our sparkling almond product, which is basically like our Brut, except we've used a little bit of almond extract into the wine, and it makes it taste like an Italian cheesecake. It is amazing. It gives it a little bit of sweetness, and the flavor and the smell of the almond is unforgettable. It's amazing. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is, let's say that you don't drink the whole bottle, which, you know, this is meant to be romantic. This is meant to share with someone. So normally 2 people can finish a bottle of sparkling wine. But if you don't, you use this interesting little top, because when you look at the cork of a sparkling wine, once the cork comes out of a bottle, there's no way you're going to get it back in. So you wind up using something like this. You just spread it out here. You put it over the top, you push it down, and it holds the pressure in. That's what this is all about. Keeping the bubbles. That's what we like. Now, how do you serve sparkling wine? I think you put it in the refrigerator and you make sure that it's nice and cold, about 45 degrees, because that maintains the sparkle. See, you look at both of these, and they're still effervescing. You want that to be. You want it to effervesce for minutes, 20 minutes or so. So you don't want the wine to get hot and then throw off all the bubbles, and there it goes. That's the end of the sparkling wine. So I would like to create a toast to our great Texas wines and their great sparkling Texas wines. It's a fun subject. It's one to learn about, enjoy, try the different styles, and God bless you all.